So we are moving on to still solving equations, but in this case we have two letters, which are x and y. And if we look at our answer choices, they all have y equals. So that means that we're going to have to set this equation equal to y. First off, our equation says, or our question says, which of the following is equivalent? So underlining equivalent, equivalent means that it's the same. Just for lack of room, I'm going to rewrite this equation here at the bottom. So based off the previous slide, we know that this is written in standard form because it is written in ax plus by equals c form. Okay, and then all of our questions or in our answer choices are y equals mx plus b. Okay, so we're going to take this equation and set it equal to y. So still following the same method, I'm going to go ahead and draw a line straight down the equal sign and then proceed with my steps. So if I want to get y by itself, that means that I'm going to have to draw a box around the minus 5y. I have to put the minus sign also because that's what's in front of the y. More in front of the 5, sorry. Okay, so now there's nothing else to combine, so I can start moving my my terms around. All right, so a term is these things here. So anything that's separated by an addition sign or a minus sign. So because I want to get this by itself, I'm going to go ahead and move the 6x over. The steps in the process is exactly the same like we were doing the regular solving equations previously. The only difference is that there is a letter, but everything else is exactly the same. So I have a positive 6x, so I need to move this over to this side. So the opposite of a positive is a negative, so that means that I'm going to have to do a minus 6x. So what I do to one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other. So it's minus 6x, and that goes away. 6x minus 6x is still 0, so that goes away, gives a 0. I have negative 5y left over because we have to bring this minus sign straight down also. Equals 2. And because I need to match this similar to what I have on my answer choices, I'm going to do negative 6x plus 12. Now, that may have looked a little bit confusing, but all I did was just move this part over to the front before the 12, just so that it can match and look similar to what I have here. Okay, my y is still not by itself because it doesn't just say just the y equals. So that means that the negative 5 is in the way. Our next step is to then get rid of that negative 5. So remember, if it is a number and a variable side by side, you have to divide because this is multiplication. It is negative 5 times y. So I'm going to divide negative 5. Well, I see two terms on the right side that I cannot combine because the 12 doesn't have an x. So then what do I divide the negative 5 to? Well, you're actually going to divide both of those by negative 5. Okay, because you divide it to everything that's on that equation. This causes this to go to 1, so negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1. And just from what we had mentioned previously, you don't need to write 1, y, so it's just y equals. I'm going to go ahead and type this into my calculator to see what I get. Okay, maybe I get a reduced fraction, maybe not. So negative 6 divided by negative 5. So negative 6 divided by negative 5. I get this decimal, so remember we can go over to the left side, right, with the circle with the fraction, and then I get that it is a positive 6 over 5. So then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to write that this is a positive 6 over 5x. Do not forget that x. Okay, now I'm going to come over and try the 12 divided by negative 5. So we have 12 divided by negative 5. Get a decimal again, we go over to this left side, press that, and then it is negative 12 divided by 5. So because it is a negative, that becomes like this, and then that's what we get here. So then now we can go ahead and match our answer, so it looks like it is answer D.